Done our dough, chaps. We've done our dough.
Hello and welcome back to Odds. So last week was amazing. We didn't have a lot of bonus bets to work with, only $6.50, but got a really good return of 81 for a $50 outlay. Probably could have even maxed that out a bit more. Diving straight into a bit of the recap. Chiller Chap was really strong in race 1, got back about $8. Tireless in race 2 was really good. We got the each way return and actually not just the each way return, so about 16 there. Little bits here and there, refunds each ways. Yes, Lulu was great. We got a little bit, shafted on the dividend. Like I paid 7, but it drifted to 10, so we got back 9 on that, but it could have been more. Bond Mistress was another winner. There was really a lot going on. We got part of the trifecta with Bond Mistress and Thorin that ran third at about 60 to 1. So that was it's nice when those little off the cuff things that you throw in deliver. And then after that, it sort of dried up. Brisbane, not much. On point, no. Ready for anything, 4th. And then in Sydney, in Cap, it was storming down the outside. And for a moment there, I thought it was going to run first or second. It didn't. It couldn't haul in the leaders. So just got back 15, $2 a place on it at $7.50. So that really delivered. So overall, it was 81. Didn't really get any like huge exotics to max it out. So maybe that means rating in the bets and pumping up the trifecta and Quinella bets to more like $1.50, $2, $2.50 to try and get something a bit juicier there. But we'll see. So 81 back, that pumps up the overall return dividend as well, which I'll get to. And then in the sport, well, again, know nothing about NBA. This is purely just names, off the cuff stuff. Gilgeous Alexander, we needed 25 points. He got about 30. Hartenstein, SA Hartenstein, we needed 8+ rebounds. He got 8. Then he got 9. No, he got 8, I think, exactly. And then Jalen Williams needed 6 and he got 5. And I was watching that counter in the last few minutes. Didn't have the heart to actually watch the game. Just wanted to see him tick over. He didn't do it. So missed by 1 rebound. That return of 80 and 87. Actually, no, sorry. It would have been 20 at $2.87. So it would have been around $56. Didn't get that, but we do get the bonus bets for this week. So overall, the profit level's back to around about 10, 11%. It was sort of getting down to some really low figures of 7, 8 there, but just a bit of breathing space and some bonus bets this week that we really need to convert into some cash. So the pressure is always on, but that's the way with betting. It's continual and relentless, and there are always opportunities for you. So that's the recap done, and let's jump straight in. So it's Pakenham Cup Day. It's a nice little country interlude before Christmas. Eagle Farm's all right. Rosa's okay. I saw promos for Oakbank. I thought that might be this weekend, but maybe that's more next week, or maybe on Christmas itself. And then Usyk versus Fury on Sunday. The boxing is pretty huge. So it's a pretty good weekend. But jumping straight into Pakenham, I was only going to do a few races here because I thought it was a meeting maybe just to target that main sprint race, go in the cup, a couple of things early. But I've ended up betting in most of the races. I've sort of found things that I think are useful. So jumping straight in, Pakenham race 1. Philosopher was pretty tough last time. It sort of sat wide and battled on as well as it could for 4th with 62 kilos, which can't be sneezed at. Charmed Run, 2 starts ago, it had a really good run. It sort of sat back when there was a hot speed on it. It was 3 wide, but it sort of had a bit of cover and came into the race at the perfect time. Didn't really get it last time around 7th. I don't know here. It's a race where really that's going to go back. Is it going to run on and win? There's a lot of horses that have got speed. +4s will go forward. Epic Centre's a real leader, will go forward. Mafia will go forward from barrier 1 especially, but doesn't really like a dry track, so that's a bit of a disclaimer there. There should be a lot of speed, and Philosopher could also be coming across and try to get caught up in that. So a little bit risky with a few of those. Charm Run maybe actually makes sense. From barrier 10, it could just go straight back, watch them all fight it out, run on. I still don't think it's the sort of horse that should be favourite. I feel like Philosopher probably should be. It's been running in better races. It's quite consistent. It's running with 62 kilos again after the claim, so that can't be forgotten. +4s, it's interesting. Its most recent win paid about $40 and it won in a 72 grade race. A few starts before that, it had won in a 78 grade, a better race, and paid $450. So it had gone down in class, after running 9th, ballooned out to 40 and won. It's had 1 run for 1 win here, so it likes Pakenham. So whether it can get an easy run from barrier 8 after crossing, don't know, but there's a bit of value there. Lazy Sue's going to be around the mark. It's an interesting race. The one I haven't mentioned yet is Title Fighter. Had really good form last prep. Then it sort of trailed off. I was backing it each week at Caulfield, sort of thinking that it would turn around, but it never did. It's been freshened up here. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I think it's a better horse than what those duck eggs in the form show. Pay 11, so I want to be on that. I want to be on Philosopher each way, and then I want to have a bit of the bonus bet, which we're going to split up into 10 $2 bonus bets, FYI. I want to have something on +4s for the win out of the bonus. Have something on it for the place. I want to back Philosopher and Title Fighter. And then just I want to make a mention of Mislead here. The form's actually quite against, it's actually against strong horses, and it's quite good. But it's running in a much shorter race than it would normally run in. So I don't think 1,000 suits it, but might run into a place. Interesting race. That was a lot of coverage for that one. I mean, it's only the race one sort of starter, but quite a good betting race. So yeah, each way Philosopher, each way Title Fighter, something bonusy around +4s. And then maybe trifectas that are involving a few rugby bankers. So maybe one with Title Fighter and +4s. And then maybe one with Philosopher and maybe Mislead. It'll be in the betting sheet at the end, but probably more around Title Fighter, I would say, in this one. Moving on to race 2. This was interesting. Romani Ite Domum was a heavy favourite last time and suddenly got reined in really easily by Refuse to be English. The story of this race is it's going to have to cross in barrier 10 and lead and win, but it is one of the only on paces in the race. It's not going to be a lot that's really going to challenge it, and it does have 60 kilos. So if that's a equation that you like, the 320 is not too bad. And Refuse to be English isn't here this time, so that's quite handy for it. Sweethearted, number 8, second favourite, trained by Philip Stokes, 2 starts, 2 seconds. It's made up a stack of ground. It looked really good, chasing some leaders. It made a lot of ground last start when there really wasn't a lot of pace on, and it still made a lot of ground. So that's very heartening. But from barrier 9, it's going to go back. There probably won't be a lot of speed on in this race. It probably could be up against it a bit. I think there's better value up at the top of the market. Like Stormberg has been sort of around the mark. 1 win out of 6 races, not the greatest thing in the world, but it's been running at Caulfield in sort of open 2-year-old grade. It's barrier 4 here, paying 13. Could easily bob up, could easily get a decent run behind them and do something. Sort of the same for Grinzinga Pod. That's been running enlisted in Group 3 grade. Then it dropped back last time to 64 and won pretty well at Caulfield Heath. So that's around the mark. Same for Harper Lee. That's been close up. And Salsa Fellow's an intriguing one because it's been mixing really good grade races with some sort of more maideny 64 ones and also wet and dry tracks. So it's hard to know what that can deliver. But from barrier 1, that could sit on the fence, get a decent run and win well. So after all that, I would do each way on Stormberg because of the $13 value. Each way on Salsa Fellow just because I'm intrigued. It probably won't do anything, but just on the off chance that it does. And then something on Grinzinga Pod. So I've done 3 horses here, so I'd be doing, let's say Stormberg with the bonuses and then Grinzinga Pod and Salsa Fellow each way. And then Quinella will probably leave out the favourite and I'll go 2 Stormberg, 3 Grinzinga Pod, 6 Salsa Fellow, throw in 5 Harper Lee, and then 8 Sweethearted for a backup Quinella as well. Then moving over to race 3, 1,200 metres, 78 fillies and mares. Big favourite here is Samangu. Really kicked away last start and was a grade above. I don't want to give this race too much coverage because I've got so many to go, but I just think that this will, from barrier 2, will go forward. We'll try and do the same thing again, and probably will. So a win bet there on Samangu at even money. She's all shenanigans at 9 is very capable, so I'll be watching that. And then Be or Bay is quite a handy horse. The $19 is probably one of the ones that's been forgotten, and at that price I want something on it. So bonus bets on Be or Bay. That'd be cool if by some stretch it, from barrier 3 got a good run, managed to beat the fave. But yeah, it'll be a lot of money on Samangu, and let's see what happens. Race 4. Now we get into staying, 2,500 metres, 78 grade. Matthew's been bobbing along. It's probably looking for a race like this. Country, winnable, can sort of run on into a winning position. Convener probably the same. Flaming Romans deserves to be $5. It's been tough in the city, sort of running top 5 around the place. Carbaran, 1-2 starts ago, leading all the way. Not a lot of speed here either. Could do the same thing. So I would like a bonus bet on Carbaran at 15s. Duke of Condecote, it's had a few runs here to sort of get up to speed coming from Europe. I think that in a race of this like limited quality, I think that's pretty good. $5.50 each way, bonus bets back. That's a good situation. Divus Romulus was really good last time, running on for second. Just couldn't catch Cadavar, but like came from sort of well back in that field. It's run third behind Rise to it, so there's some good form there. Do I want it as favourite at $3? No. Will it run top 3? Probably. One I'd like to have something on is My Rock Ali, 26s. I just think this is one that's been forgotten. It's had some decent runs, been capable, will go forward. And Barrier 11 is not ideal, but as mentioned, there isn't a lot of pace. So Carbaran and My Rock Ali could get decent runs up there, and at those prices, who knows what could happen. So for me, each way Duke of Condecote, each way My Rock Ali. I'll have more on Duke of Condecote than My Rock Ali. Carbaran for a bonus bet. And then for a Quinella, I'll throw Matthew number 1, Flaming Romans number 3, Carbaran number 4, Duke of Condecote number 6. Actually, I'll swap out Flaming Romans. So I'll make it 1, 4, 6, 7, and 8 for a Quinella, because we can't take everything and it just dilutes the dividends if we try. So race 5, this is also staying 2,000 meters, 78 grade. This one's pretty open. I won't give it too much of an emphasis because I just think it's quite tricky. Ruakaka Raider is the favorite, which I don't really know why. I wouldn't think that would be. I can understand why Deacon would be. I know it hasn't got good track form, but again, coming from international, it's building up in distance. That could be ready to do something. Saban's been consistent lately, even though the form's a bit patchy. It's been behind decent horses, and I feel like that's ready to act together and is sort of ready to be set to win. Zambogeni was scratched last week, keeping an eye on that. Samuel Langhorne was good. Action's a good second favourite at 5s. Tricky race. I'd like something on Saban just because I just got to have a feeling that it's one of the more consistent ones here, is ready to do something. Quinella, 2 Deacon, 3 Samuel Langhorne, 6 Zambogeni, 7 Saban, 10 Action. And I'll leave out Ruakaka Raider, and then something each way on Deacon. So Deacon number 2 and Saban number 7 are the each ways. Not a huge race to bet in, I don't think. Race 6, the Gold Bullion. This one's cool. Small field, 2 strong favourites, 0-2 Good and Running By. I just respect that Running Bys are running in the better quality races. I know that 0-2 Good won well last time, but the quality that Running By has been running in, I think he could sit 3rd or 4th here and sort of win this by a length running away. So the 260, I'll have something there for the win. And then for a trifecta, it'd be cool if that won and then something at big odds came second. So Running By to win, field for second. Let's go mixed multi number 9 at 150 to 1. That's quite crazy. And then the favourite for 3rd. See what that delivers. Race 6. Race 7. This one I was sort of doing the form for, it's such a big field to get through, and it's not that. They're all pretty similar. Where will we find anything? And I didn't expect to find anything, but Toll Puddle number 13 caught my eye, only because it had a few wins last prep, which sort of showed me that it's quite capable and can back up one win with another. And then it's had 2 starts this prep where it sat at the back of both fields and hasn't done much to the naked eye, but in its previous prep, it would sit a bit more forward. I feel like from barrier 6, it could be ready to improve here, could do that, could sit 3rd or 4th. $34, 34 on tab, 35 on sports bet. Quite juicy, quite likeable. So something each way on Toll Puddle, probably bonus bets for the win. Take out of the 20 of bonus bets for the win, something for the place. I like all the low numbers. Elphinstone's capable, number 14. Same for Matron Bullwinkle, second up. Form last prep was good. It's paying 18. Nana's Wish, number 16. It has won here before. Kieran Ma trained, 18 starts, 3 wins, 7 placings, which I like. And it likes good, or it prefers good ground. So Quinella 13, 14, 15, and 16 with a bonus bet. and then each way on Toll Puddle, and then, the Toll Puddle is bonus bets for the win, cash to the place, and then each one Nana's Wish. I'd like to be on that. The favourites Nation's Call could quite easily win. Something grabbed me about the bottom weights, and then I like to do them all in a row, so I'll stick with that. Big Alino's a chance as well. It's just an open race, an interesting one. Race 8, 1400 metres, the Supernova. This one, a few spring favourites still kicking around, like Arkansas Kid, Buffalo River's there, Just Folk, and Buffalo River. Each of them have won 2 races on good tracks. So it's a lot of attempts and not much back. So tomorrow's going to be pretty rock hard. So I'm sort of ruling those 2 out. Heater Shop's a good, consistent performer. 2 wins this prep already. Munamek has had a short spell, about 90 days, and it's back. Strung together all those wins during the winter months. It's not really a horse that I like especially, but $20, very capable. This is sort of in the right distance range. Probably suited to this sort of regional setting as well. So the 20 is worth a $2 bonus bet from me. Nadal, I was really wrong about. This would have been probably 2 starts ago where I said, I don't know about this as a favourite, could be a bit non-winner. Last time I just beat them effortlessly, just went past them, not even on a really fast tempo, just went whoosh, and looks pretty interesting. Extravagant. I'm just keen to see if it can do the same thing again. It's a big field, $2.70. It's got to beat some capable horses, not some real top liners, but some very, very capable horses. Roderick's been close up, number 11. It's worth a mention. It's paying 15, but it's been close up. It's got Craig Williams on board behind that horse whose name I'm forgetting right now, but Ray Magnario, it was decent. So that's something to look at. Windstorm, over the odds, really good. Well, it's got a really good first up record, and it's been running in good quality races. Likes it dry, so that's definitely worth a mention. And then Roll on High, I've always liked this horse since it won a Melbourne Cup Day a few years ago and helped me get the quaddie. Huge bonds there, and it's sort of been, you look at the form and you go, yeah, 7, 12, 6, but the big but is it's been running in good races, Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 1 before that. So I feel like people are just going to look at this and forget about it, and it's a horse that should never be trifled with. So something each way on Roll on High, and then a Quinella for, let's go 2 Munamek, 3 Here to Shop. Probably put in Nadal, so 2, 3, 6, 11, 13, 14. It's a bit of a big one. It'd be cool if Nadal doesn't run top 2. But yeah, Roll on High each way. Probably Windstorm each way as well with some of the bonus bets. Let's splash some of that cash here since we have so much of it. And it's a pretty juicy race. I think you can make a case for a lot of ones there. And good exotics too. Race 9, the Pakenham Cup, goes against type. It's not a big field. It's only 10 runners at the moment. Muramas's favourite. I don't really think it should be. It's not really one of those winning horses that you can sort of think of as a good favourite in a cup. Smoking Romans has been running the city, very tough, very consistent. Lately, it's got to contend with 60 kilos. I think that's really the story here. Is Smoking Romans, big weight, outside barrier, is going to try and cross, sort of probably sit just off the pace and then win. I don't know if it can do it. Initially, I was thinking it was the most sensible bet because this is the sports bet run first or second, get paid out as a winner promotion. So I was just thinking, who's reliable? And nothing really is. Commando Drift, I'm a Dirty Rascal, Grand Piero, they're all sort of not the real top liners that you'd want. I've ended up settling on Vow and Declare just because he's been there, he's done that. The form, it doesn't read well, but he's never that far away, and he's dropping back into a listed grade now. So I'd rather be on that at 650 with the 58 kilos than Smoking Romans with a 60 from the wide gate going forward. Herman Hess sort of revamped now that he's been a front runner, because going back to March, he ran I think it actually was even at Pakenham, but it was certainly a similar distance, and it was tailed off at the back and it didn't sit forward. So it's great that it's a front runner now. I wouldn't be taking Muramasa, even though it's such a winnable race. I just don't want to take it at 350. So yeah, for me, Vow and Declare, probably $3 on that. I hope for first or second and get paid out. And then quickly just going into race 10, this is really open and really big. I looked through them all I didn't think there was anything that was like a super standout, but I would go with Is It Me. Three runs in. They've all been consistent. Barrier 5. I like that at the $6. Global Harmony, the favourite, is ex-Hong Kong. And I know it's won a trial here, won a trial well, but I'd like to see it race before I jump on at that $3.30 price. So Global Harmony probably not for me. Cotty number 1, paying 41 on the tab. I think even 46 on Sportsbet. 15 career start for 6 wins and 3 placings. It's got good middle distance form from Queensland. So I think the 1400 is quite doable for it to run on into a place. So Is It Me for the win with bonus bet situation back. Bonus bets actually on Cotty, and then a Quinella for 1 Cotty, 3 the Open, which is always around the mark. 1, 3, 4 Paldoro, another outsider that's capable. 1, 3, 4, 8, and 12. So Atlas. And Helix down the bottom with Craig Williams is the second favourite. So 1, 3, 4, 8, 12. So moving on quickly from Pakenham, just want to do a few races at Eagle Farm. Race 1, I want to look at all the promos, just those first 6 races and see what we can find. Race 1, couldn't really find anything. It's tricky. It's sort of a soft 6 where it might not rain anymore, so it could end up being sort of like a soft 5 in that no man's land. And I was looking at wet trackers and it was hard to find. Artful Girl in the first at $9.50 was probably the most value I could sort of find. Cormac T is a favourite, not sure. Aldenari was pretty bad last start. Just a race, I think, to skip. Race 2, I've just stuck with the favourites, Zafod. There's 2 here that are actually exactly at $2.30 each, Miss Jolene and Zafod. Just sticking with Zafod because of the better barrier, and I like the form a little bit more. So just a straight up win bet there. Bryce Fest back for a place. Moving on to race 3, there's a $1.95 favourite Bezique. I think that makes a lot of sense. Small field, just going to stick with that. So a win bet on Bezique. And then just going to go straight to race 10 with some of the bonus bets left. This is a big field. There's some really good, really capable favourites up the top, like Adriel, Taltani Fields, Thank You, Henry, Tannenberg. I'm just going to go, there are 2 outsiders I want to point out. Number 13, Sujit, 4 starts for 2 wins, capable on the wet. It's paying 41 for the win and 9 for the place. I'd like to have something on for the place on that, just as a bit of a Hail Mary. And then Certainly Can number 15. It was a choice between these 2. Certainly Can. It ran 7th first up. It didn't look right. If you watch the replay, it sort of can't get onto the right leg, or the horse isn't happy. So something going on there. It's raced in listed races previously, and it's a much better horse than what it seems at the moment. So that's paying 17 and certainly worth watching. I'll do Sujid, and we'll see how that goes. And that really wraps up everything. I was going to do Ascot, but the money didn't stretch that far. So then we get on to sports. And then this week, there wasn't any outright NBA promo where you would definitely get money back. So I've ended up looking at the NBL. They were still doing the usual, do a 3-leg multi, miss 1 leg and get your money back. So I thought I would have a go at it. It's on the Friday night game, Brisbane versus Cairns. So I've taken Brisbane to win. And then there were point markets. These 2 guys on screen, they were pretty much the top sort of character for each team to get more than 15 points. So they're around $1.30, $1.40, that sort of price. So I've taken 2 of those with Brisbane to win. Who are the favourites? And overall, those odds were $2.40. So 15 on that. So if we miss 1 leg, we get bonus bets back. And then the other one, it's not connected to any bonuses, but I just want to have $5 on Usyk to knock out Fury on Sunday. I feel like Usyk's probably got more upside. As in, I'm not exactly sure what Fury's going to have to do to win. And I feel like Usyk now with the belts and with the knowing that he's done it once can do it again. So $5 on the knockout at paying $4.10, so around about 20 back. Really, I just want to be involved. It's such an exciting match a few days before Christmas. So that'll be great. So that's the 70 spent. And that sees out the pre-Christmas betting year. So best of luck to you. I'm sure that racing won't be the focus for a lot of people this weekend. There'll be more catch-ups and things like that. So we're just we're committed week in, week out. So that's our spending of the money. But next week should be cool with some good Ascot racing around. I think it's Perth Cup Day around New Year's Day, so that'll be exciting, and we'll try and incorporate that into the 50. So good luck. Yeah, should be fun, and we will see.
And then came Sweet Liaison as they turned for home. Jefferson, he's been in front every inch of the way. He's out like two.